It is the time of history in the making. On Friday, the American flag was raised at the American Embassy in Havana, Cuba, for the first time in 50 years. Politically, the relationship between the two nations will likely transform significantly over the months and years ahead. But despite the barriers that had been in place, a West Michigan organization has been bringing aid to the Cuban people for years. In fact, our 8 West producer had the chance to travel along. Here's a look inside Havana with the volunteers of First Hand Aid.
Not every American gets to travel to Cuba, but those who come with First Hand Aid are going to be safe. Check out what it takes for me to get into my casa. Padlock is 2. Iron gates everywhere. That combination every time. Muy bien. Welcome to my casa. This is it. Let's meet our fellow travelers.
Jim and I have always felt, my husband, that to those of us that much has been given, much is expected.
This has been a very good experience for us because you can see the impact immediately.
I've always wanted to do a humanitarian mission trip, and when the opportunity arose, I didn't feel like I could pass it up.
I born in Colombia, and then when I was 19 years old, I came to America. I think one thing that I really touched my heart is how warm and how generous the people are here. They're just so generous and so loving, and they just want to give whatever they have, and it's beautiful.
Being a mother and an educator, it is difficult to see that not everyone has the same opportunities that my children do, that every child in America has.
I see, the people getting the medicine that they wouldn't normally have, and the food program feeding people that would normally have nothing to eat, and how grateful they are.
Thank you for this association. And we very appreciate it with your help, Lord. Thank you. Thank you and thank you.
Le doy muchas gracias a la asociación por la ayuda que recibí. Es algo muy requete bueno. Tenemos a Ricardo que nos hace la comidita.
This is what I say, no matter how the buildings look, no matter how the needs are, people are wonderful. Great, great. It's something on their blood, It's beautiful.
Cuba's a country that's stuck in the 50s with the old cars and the housing and the technology and the water and all the implications of that it's a shock to me that 70 miles off our shore, you can step back into time 50 to 60 years and see what it was like back then.
Well, we are really bringing very basic medications, that you would assume that everybody would have available to them. It's not over-the-top fancy. It's, vitamins and antibiotics and, basic blood pressure, cardiac, diabetes medicine that many, many people need. The people that we saw weren't really different than what you would see in the United States and their circumstances. However, here, they have no backup. There's no, social services for the elderly. There isn't, visiting nurses that are coming into their home, helping them out. They don't have any kind of additional home health aides that can assist them with their daily living or their chores. They are just extremely grateful for everything that you do for them.
Really, really. I'm so grateful that I don't have words to say how much I give you thanks. And God bless you, because thank God people like you do exist.
This has been the best time away from the United States that Jim and I have ever had. I feel blessed, and it's not about what I have, it's about what I can give.
We have to share everything that we have. I am very proud that I'm very grateful that I came, and I hope to come back.
Mark Boland is the founder of First Hand Aid, and he's here with us now. Mark, what a journey you've been on. It's just striking to think it was back in 1961 that things changed so significantly. Right. And you and your organization have been there helping the Cuban people for a very long time.
Yeah, 16 years we've been there.
How have you been able to do that?
Well, we've done it with permission of both the American government and the Cuban government, but it's been a difficult road. You're between two governments that are in conflict, and you're just trying to help. And you got to deal with our government and deal with their government, and it was an amazing experience to see the flag raised.
Yeah.
Both on the Cuban side and the American side. Very emotional.
Right, I can't even imagine. And so you are actually going there very, very soon. It'll be your first trip there since the flag went up at the embassy.
Monday morning we'll be there.
So tell us about what you're hoping. Do you think it'll be different, what you're able to do there, or not so much?
I think right now it won't be real different. There's been lots of changes on the American side, a lot of publicity on the American side. On the Cuban side, they're a little more reserved. They still are a socialist nation. They're very protective of their culture and their type of government. So we still will struggle a little bit. I think that Americans tend to think that suddenly this curtain was raised and everything's wonderful in Cuba. But the same problems of no money, no medicine, no food exist. There's just more tourists now.
Right, and the infrastructure that is very, very antiquated.
It is, yeah, everything. And that's become a problem with so many more groups traveling down there. Just the lack of hotels, the lack of food, the lack of taxis, any of that kind of stuff, you have to be ready to kind of endure if you're on vacation down there or if you're traveling with another humanitarian group.
Right, and so as a humanitarian group, what exactly will you be doing this time?
We're going to spend a lot of time this time with our social programs, our food programs that was on the clip that we just saw, a few hospitals. We're going to focus on the 2 public clinics that we have out of churches also, dispensing medicine to Cubans who can't get the available prescription that they need at their own pharmacies.
And what are you hoping to do now that the political landscape is opening up? Do you think that there'll be an opportunity for your organization to help encourage more organizations to come in and help out?
We absolutely hope that. In fact, we've had a lot of organizations write to us and say, teach us to get through this paperwork that we need to get through in Cuba. What's the best way? As opposed to having to go through the experiment like we had to do for 6 and 7 years to get where we're at. So we hope that actually our work will be lessened by the fact that other humanitarian groups are going to be down there. So we're excited about that.
And so if people are interested in helping, how frequently are you doing these trips, and what kinds of people can go along? And I know that it was a life-transforming experience for Joy, our 8 West producer.
Right. Well, we take anybody, no matter what your job is or who you are. We take a lot of medical people, obviously, with us, but we need a lot of people who just carry medicine and help us in the hospitals. So they can attach to our website and find our traveling schedule. We also started a new program where if people are traveling with other groups, tour groups, and they really want to help, they can carry the minimal humanitarian amount of medicine, report to one of our staff members down there, and we'll make sure that it gets to the right people. So it allows travelers who are going down there for other things to help out a little. In a way that they can.
And that may provide really a great opportunity as more and more people are now able to be just ordinary travelers.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, so you have a great fundraising opportunity coming up in a few weeks.
We do, a large golf outing. I know you're a big fan of golfing.
I know, I'm already thinking I got to check my my date in my calendar to see if I can make this one work for us, because I love Egypt Valley, I love Thousand Oaks Golf Club, and it is a really great opportunity toward the end of the season.
It is, just because the flag has been raised, it didn't stop the need in Cuba. So there's a lot of golfers who are involved with us and past travelers who love to golf. So we'll go out to Thousand Oaks on Monday, September 28th, do shotgun start, and hopefully have a great time and raise a lot of money for a great cause.
Exactly. It's a $500 for a 4-person team that includes lunch and dinner and, of course, 18 holes of golf.
Correct.
A whole lot of fun. And thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Make sure that we connect your website to our website so that people who are interested in becoming a part of this.
It's always a pleasure to come here.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.